something else as well. Something that must have required extraordinary effort.
Chris, he'd also learned to read and write.
He was different.
He's a bad brother, man.
Yeah. Especially because reading and writing was sort of forbidden. So when, it makes you wonder, when was that taking place? Who was teaching him?
Right. Well, his master was saying, obviously, he's so bright, let's teach him to read and write.
Right.
He probably said, look, I'm more valuable to you if you let me learn to read or write.
For sure.
You know, did the rope-a-dope on him.
We ain't have time to do all this.
Unfortunately, despite everything he'd accomplished, Peter remained enslaved. But that was about to change. In 1800, he was sold yet again, this time to a Moravian man who lived in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. We believe that Peter himself pushed for this sale.
So why to Pennsylvania?
Please turn the page. Chris, you're looking at an amazing document. It's an affidavit presented to a man named Frederick Kuhn, one of the associate judges in Lancaster County. Would you please read that transcribed section?
Peter Oliver verily believes that he is entitled to his freedom by virtue of the laws of Pennsylvania, having been held as a slave by virtue of the said bill of sale in this commonwealth, and that deponent is not confined or restrained of his liberty for any other cause whatsoever, and further said not. Signed, Peter Oliver, sworn before me, June 13, 1800.
He goes to a judge and says, Your Honor, I believe that I am a free man in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
And that was part of probably why it got sold up to
Bingo.
Pennsylvania.
That's right.
Right.
They were enabling his freedom.
Yep. Yep.
Because Pennsylvania had abolished slavery.
Had abolished slavery.
Right. And North Carolina didn't abolish slavery till the Civil War made it abolish slavery.
They did him basically a favor in selling him.
That's right.
Up north.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, absolutely.
There is a final beat to this story. In 1802, less than 2 years after winning his freedom in Pennsylvania, Peter returned to the South, got married, and settled on a 4-acre farm that he leased from the Moravian Church outside of Salem, North Carolina.
Wow.
He goes back to North Carolina, which is why your family is from North Carolina.
From North Carolina.
Yeah.
So he went up to Pennsylvania,
Got his freedom, and said, I'm going back home.
came back down.
So he must have loved North Carolina, because me, I would have stayed in Pennsylvania. What do you make of this?
It's even more meaningful now because, of course, you know of your immediate family. I always knew that I was born and raised there, but knowing that it traces back all the way to
1802. It's amazing.
Yeah, and to move away and to come back, what he demonstrated is exactly why they put in a park and all of that.
Yes.
In Winston.
Yes.
You know, and the importance of this is, I mean, I remember my mom getting on Zooms with the family members or whatnot, talking about Peter Oliver, and me, I'd be like, okay, you know, but you don't know what you don't know.
No, of course.
Right? So,
Yeah.
to hear all of the information that I heard today, it makes me understand why. Yeah, he was a go-getter.
We'd already traced Brittany Griner's mother's roots in Louisiana, a place she'd never associated with her own family. Now, turning to her father's ancestors, we found ourselves on more familiar terrain, Brittany's home state of Texas. The story begins with Brittany's great-great-grandfather, a man named Henry Adams. Brittany knew that she has relatives who still carry the Adams surname, but she had no idea where it came from. We tried to learn and ended up back in the slave era, poring over the estate records of a white Texan named Thomas Adams Sr. They list 36 enslaved human beings. Among them is a boy named Henry, worth $125. A sight that caused Brittany to recoil.
I mean, seeing the value placed on any person is just, it's like, I can't even really imagine it. I can because I know the history, and the sick history, but to see that, it's just a boy, just a kid.
Henry was around 2 months old.
And I got a 7-month-old at home. I couldn't imagine him being born into this. Like, and the Adams Senior, deceased. So got the name from slave owner.
Yep. There's your great-great-grandfather Henry listed as the property of a white man named Thomas Adams Sr., given a value in an estate record. Just like you would do a sofa or a cow or a horse.
I'm literally gonna say a cow, a pig, an animal.
Yeah.
Like, that's just sad. I mean, 2 months. Oh, I mean, like, ain't even started life yet.
No.
Already belonging to somebody else.
Thomas Adams Sr. was one of the wealthiest men in his county. When he died in 1859, he was worth around $40,000, or roughly $1.5 million in today's money. A big part of that wealth was human property. And as we combed through his estate records, we came upon Henry's parents, Sam and Pallas Adams, as well as a curious detail.
According to this record, Sam was 32 years old and Pallas was 12. And they already had a child, your great-great-grandfather, Henry. But we puzzled over this. We don't know if Pallas's age is correct there. Her age on census records suggests that she was about 25, not 12. So we can't be sure.
Okay.
But it's possible that Pallas had Henry before her 13th birthday. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, it wouldn't be uncommon back then. It wasn't like they cared. I mean, people had kids way earlier, but that's crazy to think that she had already lived that much life at 12, 13.
This story was about to take an even more troubling turn. Thomas's estate records were filed in January of 1859, meaning that his slaves were divided up amongst his heirs more than 6 years before the abolition of slavery, which raised a chilling question.
So what do you think happened to your family? Were they able to stay together or were they split up?
Oh, they all got split up. I mean, they probably took joy in, I know some people took joy in splitting up families because they didn't want them to be together, have a sense of, all you're supposed to do is work. I don't need you worrying about your wife, your kids, or any of that.
Right.
Work. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't split up every single person on here.
Please turn the page, let's see. This is the same estate inventory we just showed you, only we've highlighted a different portion. Would you please read that transcribed section?
To Abel Adams, Pallas, age 12 years. To Harmon Adams, Henry, age 2 months. To Thomas Adams Jr., Sam, age 32.
You were right, your family, even the 2-month-old baby, separated from his parents. Your ancestors were split up among 3 different sons of their enslavers. Pallas goes to Abel, Henry to Harmon, and Sam to Thomas Adams Jr.
Inhumane. It makes me look at the people that we got this name from. Like, we literally took a name from these inhumane people. It makes me look at the name Adams so different. And I know there's some really good Adams out there on my side of the family, but it makes me look at that name differently of where we got it from.
Happily, Brittany's ancestors were able to reunite when freedom came. In the 1870 census, they were all living together in the same household. But this census also tells us something far less joyful. just a few doors down from Brittany's family, lived a man named Fabian Adams, one of the sons of Thomas Adams Sr., the very same man who had enslaved them.
How about that? While Fabian didn't inherit any of your ancestors from his father's will, the fact that the families were living so close 5 years after the end of the Civil War suggests that your ancestors, even though they were free, still had to work for the people who had held them in bondage.
100%. When I saw that occupation, farmer white, and then I see farm labor. Oh yeah, they was definitely still working there.
Can you imagine living next to the people who used to own you?
And not getting paid properly either, probably.
Sharecropper.
Yeah.
Here, we'll put that X there.
Yeah.
You know?
That's all. They just knew the new age slavery. That's all it was for them.
Mhm.
Like, that's crazy to still live there. Just the trauma of that, knowing, because they lived it. They were separated, brought back, spread out through the siblings, brought back together. Baby didn't own any, but he's definitely benefiting from y'all working there now.
And, you know, like it or not, and it shouldn't surprise us, but most formerly enslaved people stayed where they had been enslaved because they didn't have a choice. They couldn't read, they couldn't write, that was illegal. The system was rigged against them.
Yeah. Where were they supposed to go? With what money?
Brittany's questions are good ones, and the answers would prove sobering. Her ancestors would not leave the county where they'd been enslaved for almost a century. But that doesn't mean that they wouldn't make progress. By 1910, less than 50 years after the end of the Civil War, her great-great-grandfather Henry had not only managed to become a landowner, but his children had too. And seeing the journey of her family laid out from slavery to freedom would prove deeply moving to Brittany.
Your people are survivors. You feel a connection?
I feel a deep connection. It just makes me understand myself a little bit more. Like knowing my background, my history. You think you're blazing your own path in life, but you're really kind of like reliving some of the things and some of the choices, even places where you're living that your ancestors went down.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool to walk the same road that they walked in the same sense. It was a hard road they walked, but I mean, I wouldn't be here today if they wouldn't have walked this road. If any of these little small things would have changed, a husband not been somebody's husband, they would have fought, they would have ran, you know, tried to escape. They could have altered everything, and I could not be here.
That's right. Poof.
Like, you know, as much as I want all this to change and just be all happy-go-lucky, without this happening, I might not be here right now.
That's right.
So, I'm super appreciative of this information, that's for sure. I know my family is going to be very appreciative of this.
What's your father going to say?
He's going to be blown away. I already know. He's gonna be shocked. He's gonna be like, what? He's gonna try to figure out how y'all figured all this out.
The paper trail had now run out for each of my guests. It was time to show them their full family trees,
Oh my goodness.
now filled with names they'd never heard before.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this up in my house. Thank you. Thank you.
For each, it was a moment of joy, offering the chance to connect with the women and men who laid the groundwork for their success.
To see this is the wildest thing. I think it just makes me appreciate things a lot more, right?
Mhm.
Even though I know I should already, but just understanding what many generations have went through before me in order for me to be sitting right here with you.
My ancestors had some fight in them to make it through, to push through, living next door to the people that had them enslaved, to being put in an insane asylum and having to deal with that and cope. It definitely helps me understand me a little bit more.
Yeah.
My fight, it all comes from my family. Everything that I've been through, everything I've gotten through, how I've gotten through it, it makes sense.
That's the end of our journey with Brittany Griner and Chris Paul. Join me next time when we unlock the secrets of the past for new guests on another episode of Finding Your Roots.
The relationship between African Americans and Jews in the United States, it's not a simple story. It's got a really long history.
The Black and Jewish communities found themselves swimming against parallel currents.
Blacks and Jews come together and create enormous change.
It wasn't a perfect partnership, but stood as proof that people could bridge these divides. Next time, talk show host Sarah Haynes and actor and playwright Tracy Letts uncover their roots. Did you ever think you had an ancestor who had been in prison?
Oh, yeah. I would have bet on prison.
You never heard about this.
No.
These people are tough.
Yeah.
Your family lore appears to have been true. Your great-great-grandfather was Cherokee. That's amazing. Please turn the page.
Oh my God. I'm moving into a president.
It's for real.
Wow.
This program is available with PBS Passport and on Amazon Prime Video. Corporate support for Season 12 of Finding Your Roots was provided by...
I do this work for the young man who's visiting the Castro in San Francisco for the first time.
We all know that we do none of this work by ourselves. So let's march as one community to make the world a better place for everybody.
Ancestry can help you shine a light on the family journey that led to you. Detailed DNA results and family history memberships. Ancestry, proud to support this PBS program.
At Johnson & Johnson, we're working to connect health and care for every provider, for every patient, for everyone. Because we know what those two simple words can do. Johnson & Johnson, the health and care company.
Support was also provided by Ford Foundation, the Gordon and Betty Moore Foundation, W.K. Kellogg Foundation, Candace King Weir, and by the Inkwell Society and these members. Major funding was also provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by generous contributions to your PBS station by viewers like you. Thank you. You're watching PBS.
Dedication, ingenuity, and teamwork. This is what it takes to be a parent on our planet. Success ensures the future of life on Earth.
Wednesday at 7 on WTTW.
What are dogs thinking?
Water.
People think they know.
Snuggle. You want snuggle.
Now the largest animal communication study ever.
Where can we take this and how far can dogs go?
Can dogs talk on Nova?
Wednesday at 8 on WTTW.
Now streaming on the PBS app, the definitive collection from Emmy-winning scholar Henry Louis Gates Jr. From full seasons of Finding Your Roots,
These are your immigrant ancestors.
My goodness.
to acclaimed documentaries,
Black Americans creating the world behind the veil.
discover the incredible histories that connects us all. Stream the Henry Louis Gates Jr. collection now with Passport on the PBS app.
Desire turns deadly in Salome, lyric opera of Chicago's electrifying thriller, January 25th to February 14th. Seduction, power, and a shocking finale. Don't miss Salome. Tickets at lyricopera.org. The one and only Renee Fleming is at Lyric Opera of Chicago on February 5th in Voice of Nature. The program features immersive imagery from the National Geographic Society and explores our connection to the world around us. Tickets at lyricopera.org.
You know this woman.
I can explain.
May I just say,
My name
I want to give you the best life I can.
I've got the best life.
What exactly is it you do? Sometimes people like you to give an opinion on things, but not
Hi, Chicago. My name is Dolores. You're watching WTTW.
Major support for the WTTW presentation of Black and Jewish America, an interwoven history, is provided by Gwen Cohen and the Abe and Ida Cooper Foundation, in memory of Fred Cooper. Additional support is provided by Walter and Shirley Massey, Antonio and Kimberly Monk, and Lewis Collins and Nancy Silver.
When I was growing up, I only thought of race in terms of black and white. It wasn't until much later, when I learned about anti-Semitism and the Holocaust, that I realized how endlessly flexible the idea of difference can be. Across history, Jews have been mocked and feared, blamed and banished, envied and imitated.